2013. Kindly allow me to share my screen.
Joanne, you can make him a co-host.
Thank you. Kindly let me know once you're able to view my screen. Just a moment, I try to put it up. Okay, kindly let me know whether you're able to view my screen.
View it, huh? You can proceed.
We can see.
Okay, thank you so much. In my day-to-day, I work for Capex Life Assurance Company Limited, and we are actually a player in this industry in terms of life insurance company, specifically to offer life insurance. And we've been in the business since the year 2010. And in terms of our capitalization, we have an asset base of over 2.1 billion with the minimum capitalization of 400 million. We're able to offer major businesses, which is a pension business. And in this line, we look at Capex Life Income Drawdown Fund, Capex Life Individual Retirement Benefit Scheme, Capex Life Umbrella Retirement Benefit Scheme. We offer deposit administration as well as we're able to contract out NSSF Tier 2 to both individual retirement and umbrella schemes. We're also able to do risk business, and in this line, we're able to provide group life business, group credit life, group last expense, annuity business, and group mortgage. We additionally provide individual life, whereby we're able to give Masomo plan, Flexi 3 accumulation plan, VIP plan, and target savings. So in terms of our beacon, we're able to have a vision, which is to become a world-class financial service provider, as well as our mission is to provide wealth using sophisticated technology to each and every household. And with this, we're able to offer the manpower. Our values is customer dedication, respect for individuals, creativity, teamwork, and integrity. Now, when you look at matters regulation, we have licenses that help us to offer services. One of them is license provided by the Retirement Benefits Authority as an administrator, meaning we're able to offer services that relates to retirement benefit scheme. And we're also able to have a license from Insurance Regulatory Authority, who is the regulator for all insurance companies in Kenya. So with these two licenses, then we are approved issuer because we're able to receive funds from members based on the license provided by Insurance Regulatory Authority, which is on your right-hand side of your screen. And we are able to also offer administration services in terms of having members' data, allocation of contributions, as well as computation and payment. So that is a license provided by the Retirement Benefits Authority, who is the regulator for retirement benefit schemes in Kenya. When you look at matters NSSF Tier 2, the license that I'm able to project are licenses that enables Capex Life to receive contributions and to be able to offer services in line with the NSSF Act of 2013 under Capex Life Individual Retirement Benefit Scheme, as well as Capex Life Umbrella Retirement Benefit Scheme. Additionally, we have individual pension plan in the name of Capex Life Individual Retirement Benefit Scheme. And under umbrella scheme, we have Capex Life Umbrella Retirement Benefit Scheme. So you're looking at an administrator who is vast, an administrator who has skills that is able to offer and manage your retirement benefits. Lastly, we have a license, registration certificate, that is Capex Life Income Drawdown Fund. And this is a post-retirement product for members. So this is a sister product to a life product that is able to make payments for life, that is annuity business. Now, when you look at the NSSF Act Tier 2, when you're trying to unpack, then we're able to look at the objectives and possible when it was assented. Now, this is an act that was assented in December of 2013 and commenced on 10th of January 2014. But because of court cases between the farmers and NSSF, it actually dragged until the year 2023. That's when it commenced. And its purpose or its objective was to be able to help members have that capital adequacy ratio in terms of replacement, as well as to try and ensure that we reduce the poverty level at old age. It also supposed to ensure that there is increased coverage in terms of members who are both in formal and informal sector, because it cuts across members, whether they are actually employed or self-employed. And also it's supposed to help provide basic securities, that is to the members and their dependents. These dependents are members who are nominated beneficiaries. So it is a value-adding kind of a vehicle that was put in place by the Kenyan government. Now, when you look at this specific product, it has a different kind of benefits. Remember the NSSF contributions that we used to make, the one that had a flat amount, which at one point, because this is an act that actually took place for the benefits that started around 1965, thereabout. The older NSSF was Provident Fund. By Provident, I mean at the point of retirement, which can either be early retirement for 50 years or normal retirement of 60 years, it provided a benefit called age benefit. This age benefit, because it is provident in nature, it meant that once a member hits the age of 50 years and above, then lump sum benefits were paid to these members. The lump sum benefits contained both the contributions and interest accrued over the years. And again, it also provided a survivor's benefit. Survivor's benefit is in a situation where there is death of the main member. So upon death of the main member, then lump sum benefits were paid to the nominated beneficiaries. It also invalidity pension. Invalidity pension, by the term invalidity, we are looking at a situation where one is either physically or mentally incapacitated and is unable to work. So in such a situation, a medical doctor needs to verify that actually this member is unable to continue with the normal work. So is able to be retired because of this incapacitation. So with this, it resulted to payment of lump sum benefits. And lastly, we had immigration benefit. Immigration benefit is a situation where a member is able to relocate Kenya to a different country with no intention of coming back. So in such kind of situation, then lump sum benefits were paid out. Now, the new, that is the NSSF Act of 2013, in terms of the nature of these benefits, it is pension in nature. By pension, I mean at the point of retirement, when you look at the benefit under retirement pension, it meant that a member was to be paid a third of the total sum. By a third, I mean if it is 100 shillings, that is the total accumulation, then the member was to be paid 30 Kenya shillings, and then the 2/3, which is in my illustration is 70 Kenya shillings, was supposed to purchase a vehicle that is able to pay this member for life. Now, this vehicle becomes an annuity or an income drawdown fund. Now, an annuity is a kind of a post-retirement vehicle whereby a lump sum payment generated from a pension fund, that is the 2/3, is supposed to ensure that it provides salaries for members. These salaries can be regular in terms of monthly payment or quarterly payment or semi-annually or annually, but is able to pay you for life until death of the member. And then when you look at the income drawdown fund, is a post-retirement vehicle that enables a member to receive the salaries or streams of payment for a minimum of 10 years. And after 10 years, the amount that is able to remain as balance can either be paid out as lump sum, or a member can continue being able to receive these salaries until your balance is zero. That's when the fund is closed. And again, it provides for survivor's pension. For survivor's pension, this is actually death benefit. But this death benefit is supposed to be paid if and only if a member has contributed for a minimum of 36 months. It also provides for invalidity pension when one is physically or mentally incapacitated or disabled. Then they'll be able to check if the member has been contributing for a minimum of 36 months. Then these payments are able to be made in lump sum. Additionally, it had a funeral grant. Funeral grant is similar to a last expense. So 10,000 Kenya shillings is set aside to cater for burial expenses. And it's in situations where a member is to leave the country with no intention of coming back, then immigration benefits is paid to this member. Or if this specific member is an expatriate, then possibly what happens is these funds are transferred to a similar vehicle like NSSF in the country of origin. So when you look at this is able to provide clear comparison that the older NSSF was provident in nature and is actually ring-fenced, meaning the funds that members were deducted, the one that ended with the 200 Kenya shillings for employee and an equivalent amount being matched by the employer, is able to be set aside such that upon retirement, when a member hits 50 years, then lump sum benefits are paid to the member. And in a situation where we have benefits under the new Act of NSSF 2013, then a third is paid to the member. And then 2/3 is either you purchase a vehicle called annuity or an income drawdown fund. Now, allow me to unpack something about the benefits as well. We need to indicate that these benefits are pension in nature. But again, when you look at the Act, it talks about these benefits being compulsory, meaning you're supposed to contribute towards your retirement. It is non-commutable. It means no lump sum payment is to be paid. But in situation where computation is done at the point of purchase of either an annuity product or an income drawdown, then we find that those salaries are less than 10,820 Kenya shillings. Then this entails that lump sum benefits are supposed to be paid. It also able to provide that the benefits are non-assignable. Non-assignable in this context indicates that these benefits cannot be used to secure loans. So it becomes illegal for you to use your retirement benefits to secure loans. And the benefits are also payable for life because the instrument that you're able to purchase after retirement is one that is able to ensure that you either get your salary or your payouts on monthly basis or whatever frequency for life. And again, the NSSF Act 2013, that is number 45 of 2013 indicates that once you've managed to hit the retirement age, you're supposed to purchase a post-retirement benefit of either annuity or income drawdown. This specific post-retirement product is supposed to have a minimum guarantee period of 10 years. It is expected that even though we look at annuity as being able to provide you salaries for life, then because annuity in nature, it is crafted in a manner that it's able to have guarantee periods. These periods runs from the year 0 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and 20 years. So in our case, the Act specifically indicates you're supposed to pick either a guarantee period of 10 years, 15 years, or 20. So you can either pick 0 or 5. It only allows you you select from 10 years and above. And also, I've indicated that a third of this total contribution supposed to receive as lump sum. So that is what is stipulated in the Act. Now, we look at the contribution rates. Now, this is where the rubber hits the road. Because remember, when we had a number of court cases, the expectation is before the court cases in the year 2013, you're supposed to be at year 1, where your lower earnings limit is 6,000 and the upper earnings limit is 18,000. So I'm arriving at 18,000, the assumed national average earnings that is captured in the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics in the year 2013 was actually 36,000 annually. So with 50%, it opted to be 18,000. But because of court cases, this Act managed to see the light of day in the year 2023. So in the year 2023, that was now when it started as year 1. And then come the year 2024, we had an increase of the lower earnings limit to reflect 7,000 Kenya shillings. And then the upper limit was 36,000. Come the year 2024, we were actually doing 8,000 as lower earnings limit and 72,000 as the upper earnings limit. Now I'm going to sensitize us on this lower earnings limit and upper. The lower earnings limit is actually the value that is when deductions are done in terms of when you apply 6%, because the employee is supposed to contribute 6%, the employer 6%, making a total of 12%. So when you look at the lower earnings limit, this specifically relates to tier 1 because it indicates from 0 to 9,000, because now we are at year 4, starting last month, the deduction was 9,000 lower earnings limit and 108,000 upper earnings limit, because I'm selecting 36,000 and multiply by 3. So when you look at low earnings limit, this is a limit that is able to tell us where we lie as tier 1. So you apply 6% to 9,000, you get 540 Kenya shillings. Those are the revisions that were. And then when you able to pick 108,000, you subtract 9,000. That is, I'm picking upper earnings limit, subtracting the lower earnings limit, you get 99,000 Kenya shillings. So when you apply 6% to 99, then what you're able to arrive at is the figures that I'm able to project to us. You're able to arrive at 5,940. Now, remember, from the year, let's say I pick a month of 1st of February 2025 to 31st of January 2026, we had contributed 480 Kenya shillings as employee, and the employer was matching the same. And in situations where our salaries were above 72,000, we were then able to ensure that we contribute for tier 2 3840, meaning we had a capping of 8,000 640. You are not supposed to exceed that. Now, for this year, what you're saying is the capping is 12,960, because I'm looking at the 108,000. When you apply 6% or when you apply 12% to it, then you're able to get 12,960. So it means for us to be able to understand how are deductions done, then we are looking at when you apply 12% to the salary, you're not supposed to exceed 12,960 as the capping on the higher end. Meaning, we apply 6% to 9,000, you get 540, and then you pick the employer is supposed to match the same 540, making 1080 Kenya shillings. So you pick the capping as 12,960, subtract 1,080, then I'm sure you're able to get 5940 multiplied by 2. So that is how we're able to arrive at this. Now, when you look at the levels of contributions, the Act indicates that Tier 1 is supposed to, and it is mandatory, supposed to be paid. It must be paid to NSSF. And again, when you look at the legal notice or the regulation 85 of the same, it talks about employers being given a leeway to contract out the Tier 2, meaning the employer has a leeway that they should either pay the Tier 2 to NSSF, but in situations where they have a scheme in place, a scheme that has been approved by the Retirement Benefits Authority to receive contributions for Tier 2, then they can be able to contract out, opt out these contributions. Now, to be able to help us to clearly be able to see what the impact can be on our payslips, I've managed to share with us an array of bands of salaries and the implication of how this can. So you look at line 1, it has 30,000 salary, 30,000 Kenya shillings. When you apply 6% to this, it becomes 1,800 for employee. Another 6% is 1,800 for employer because they're supposed to match. When you add both of these, then you get 3,600. Now, the split will be 1,800 employee, 1,800 employer. But for Tier 1, we've indicated that the lower earnings limit is 9,000. So this enables us to have 540 for employee, 540 for employer. And then for Tier 2, it will be 1,260 for employee, and the employer is able to match the same. So that is how we're able to arrive. So when you look at someone who is earning, that is line 8, 100,000, you're able to say that when application is done, 12% to this 100,000, then you get 12,000. So you find that the capping is 12,960, but in a situation where one is earning 100,000 Kenya shillings, then the maximum that is applicable as 12% is 12,000. So with this, it means that you're able to split this fund because it's 6% employer, 6% employee. It makes 6,000 a piece. And when you say you're able to deduct Tier 1, we have a capping of 540 Kenya shillings. So you're able to contribute 540 Kenya shillings, employer matching the same. And when it comes to Tier 2, then we're looking at a situation where we have 5,460 and employer matching the same. Now, this figure is able to have a change when one is able to have a figure of 200,000, that is in terms of earning. Or let's say we look at a figure of 120,000. Remember, the upper earnings limit is 108. So immediately we able to earn more than, or we're able to say we earn 108,000 and above, then it means that you already hit the threshold. And this is the capping of 12,960. So in such a case, anyone earning above 108,000 and above, they'll be able to uniformly contribute 540 Kenya shillings as tier one, employer matching the same, and then they go to 5,940 as tier two, and the employer matching the same. So that becomes the clear picture for anyone earning 108,000 and above, because it has a capping. Now, when you look at contracting out, what are the a proper procedure that allows you to contract out? Remember, we are looking at a fund that is to help the members or employees to retire. And these funds are funds that are supposed to be well managed, funds that are supposed to have transparency. We are in an era whereby members do appreciate that they need to have information that employees who are well informed. So in such a situation, when one is to contract out, then it means that the employer needs to take the initiative by being able to have a scheme in place. A scheme is a scheme that is well established to participate in matters relating to receiving these funds. So the condition here is the employer needs to write to do a written application to retirement authority. Now, retirement benefits authority is a body that is in charge of supervision and in charge of regulation of all retirement benefits in Kenya. So you need to do a written application and be able to give them at least 60 days notice. Meaning, if one is to make application starting 1st of March of 2026, then it means that effective 1st of May 2026, that's when you're supposed to start remit. That is when approval is done. So you're able to give at least 60 days notice to the Retirement Benefits Authority or RBA. You're supposed to clearly indicate that you're supposed to contract out to a scheme, and the Retirement Benefits Authority is able to ensure that the scheme you're able to contract out to is a scheme that has reference scheme test. Reference scheme test, when you look at the Retirement Benefits Act, and also when you look at the NSSF Act of 2013, is able to clearly stipulate that the scheme that is able to have a scheme reference test is a scheme that, one, is approved by the Retirement Benefits Authority, meaning this is a scheme that has managed to have any of the matters compliance top notch, 100%. Secondly, it's a scheme that has managed to be approved by the Kenya Revenue Authority. Remember, this is a scheme that is exempted from taxation. So they need to have matters Kenya Revenue Authority in terms of approval. We also look at a situation where the scheme is managed in terms of what the Act stipulates. Remember, these benefits that I've managed to talk about under NSSF Act, they are protected rights. They have protected rights. So having protected rights, it means the particular scheme that it needs to receive the contributions needs to ensure that the funds are managed in line with the benefits as captured in the NSSF Act. That is able to only pay members a third of the fund, two-thirds supposed to purchase either annuity or income drawdown. It's supposed to have invalidity pension, supposed to have survivor's pension, supposed to have funeral grant and immigration benefit. So it is pension in nature. Additionally, when you look at this, the employee is supposed to notify employees on the intended application, meaning employer needs to provide notification to members that have managed to have your funds in terms of tier two being moved to Capex Life Umbrella Retirement Benefit Scheme, whose administrator is Capex Life Assurance Company Limited, and whose corporate trustee is corporate and pension trust services. So it indicates in that notification, and also it's able to clearly tell your employees when you intend to start remitting. Now, within 30 days of the application, then the Retirement Benefits Authority is supposed to give response. The response can either be no, based on 1, 2, 3 reasons, or the response can be issuance of contracting out certificate. And in such a case, when the contracting out certificate is issued by the Retirement Benefits Authority, then NSSF is given a copy of the same. So once that is done, then that is when approval is done and contributions can kick off. What are the contracting out requirements? One, there needs to have an executed Form C1. Form C1 is a document that is provided by the Retirement Benefits Authority, but as Capex Life, we do have a similar that we are able to issue to any of the scheme that wishes to contract out. This is a document that is able to provide when you intend to contract out and when you are supposed to start remitting contribution. The nature of scheme that you're able to contract into, and looking at NSSF Act of 2013 is able to provide for 3 kind of schemes. One of them is individual retirement benefit scheme. And in our case, we have Capex Life individual retirement benefit scheme. 2, an umbrella scheme. In our case, we have Capex Life umbrella retirement benefit scheme. And then thirdly is an occupational scheme. An occupational scheme is a situation where the institution needs to have their funds separated for any other, meaning you are only able to contribute into the scheme if and only if you are an employee of that particular institution. Then number 2, we look at the board resolution. A board resolution is same as a director's resolution that is able to provide the intention of contracting out of these contributions. But again, it's able to indicate that they're able to be managed in line with the NSSF Act of 2013. Therefore, no breaching of any law as pertains to that. Then additionally, we have employers undertaking to meet these obligations, meaning the employer needs to commit that before the 10th or possibly 9th of every month, remittance with respect to tier 2 are supposed to be remitted to that specific scheme. Then we have a written notice or a circular to the staff. This is a notice or a circular that is supposed to, one, if you have a notice board, you're supposed to pin it at that place because the staff members can be able to retrieve this information or have visibility of the same. Additionally, if the design of communication in your organization is through memos, then memos needs to be forwarded to each and every employee's or staff's email addresses. Then we have a listing of staff. This listing is able to provide the PF number of the staff, the name of the staff, the NSSF number of the staff, and the ID number of that particular member. Additionally, the employer is supposed to provide the NSSF number and the KRA PIN certificate. Now, when you look at this, Capex Life Assurance Company Limited has a listing of all this ready in place. It has templates so that you do not go out of your core activities. Once you're able to point to us as your contracting out scheme, then you're able to help you execute this and the shortest time possible, able to get your approvals done. So what do you expect if you are to do an opt-out or be able to contract out your scheme at Capex Life? One is accessibility and transparency. It is important that members have visibility of what their employers have managed to deduct them and submit, and additionally, what the employer is able to match. So you're able to offer this, you're able to offer annual benefit statement, and in such a case, based on our guaranteed rate, so it is monthly, So we're able to offer these based on members portal. So we're able to provide members with accessibility to their records at their own comfort. And for sponsors, we're able to offer the sponsor portal or employers portal so that they can monitor how the funds are performing. Additionally, we offer guaranteed fund. With the guaranteed fund, I'm talking about us being able to uh, ensure that contributions made and interest that are accrued are free from erosion. They can never reduce. So we do provide a minimum guaranteed rate of 5.5% per annum, which is the highest in the market, that is in Kenya. And remember, when you offer this minimum guaranteed rate of 5.5, then it means we'll be able to declare interest and provide bonus interest to the members. So this is computed daily compounding. So there is that power, exponential power of increasing your funds. We do have robust pension administration systems. The systems that we are using, they're actually interconnected with the members portal and the sponsors portal. It is able to provide real-time information. It is able to track your contributions. It is able to compute accurately your funds and provide you with accurate and credible reports. Additionally, we have qualified and experienced personnel. That is why you're able to see that we have approval of all products under retirement benefit scheme. We are able to provide customer-centric kind of services. We're able to provide superior customer service, and we're able to handle you with care as our clients. We do offer free member education. We can be able to tailor these on a monthly basis and quarterly basis, as expected by the client. And also we're able to provide pre-retirement and post-retirement planning for the members. We do understand that these funds are exempted from taxation. So our robust system is actually tailored to ensure that no taxes are applicable to these funds. I've managed to talk about our profile in terms of the products we're able to offer. We're able to offer pension business, risk business, and individual business or retail business. So it makes us a one-stop shop. So it becomes easy even for members to transition at the point of retirement. When you want to purchase an annuity business, we're able to offer you very, very competitive annuity business that has pre-riders like last expenses. So it is one of a kind in the market. Additionally, we're able to offer you an income drawdown fund that is very competitive. The payouts under these post-retirement products are actually one of a kind because they provide highest payouts or salaries to individual members. So we can easily transition you. You don't need to start looking for who to provide those post-retirement products and at what rates, because the rates that we are able to provide are actually the highest in the market. So thank you for listening to me. I'm able to pick any questions. These are our handles. You can be able to reach us. And in case of any questions, kindly, I'm ready to pick them up. Thank you so much. And thank you for listening to me. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Bwana Wilson, for the wonderful presentation. I'm sure we have several questions from our audience this evening. So allow me to read them for you. As someone shared their profile, Peter shared their profile. Thank you so much, Peter, for that.
Thank you.
Any question? We can have questions coming on the chat, or you can unmute yourself, raise your hand, unmute yourself, and then ask a question.
Good evening. I have a question.
Yes. Tumesema raise your hand, Paul. Yeah, so you have a question? Go ahead.
Sorry, I did not raise my hand. Is it that whenever they are paying now getting out from the NSSF in that giving the second party, the insurance company, is it compulsory whenever the business or the company that you're working with, whenever they are now transitioning, is it compulsory for an employee can always decide that they don't want to go the way the business want? And then another question maybe on this, if you realize that maybe the business that you're working with or the employer has not been submitting some of the amount to NSSF, how do you go about that?
Thank you, Paul. When you look at maybe on your first question, whether it is compulsory when you're transitioning, if it is compulsory, you move to the business you want. When moving out, in terms of when you hit the age of retirement, it is compulsory that you are to receive a third of the funds, and two-thirds is to purchase either annuity or income drawdown. When your funds are contracted out, it becomes easier because you are able to easily engage that administrator to share with you competitive quotation, or you can source for yourself. But in situations where these funds are fully shared with NSSF in terms of remittances, then it becomes a bit difficult because matters transparency is something I don't think it's clear on the side of NSSF. Then number two, in situations where you know that your employer is not submitting, remember the NSSF Act of 2013 indicates that these benefits are compulsory. Then it means your employer is breaching the law. And when you breach the law, there are consequences. The NSSF Act of 2013 clearly stipulates there is a penalty of up to 50,000 Kenya shillings. Additionally, there is 5% of the contributions shall be added to the contribution for each month or part of the month that the amount due remains unpaid. So they face a penalty, and additionally, they're supposed to provide that interest. That is the 5% contribution, because these remittance are supposed to be made before the 10th of every month. But I've seen majority do submit by 9th. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Wilson. We have Sandra. Sandra, you can unmute and ask a question.
Hi, good evening. My name is Sandra, and I have a question in regards to NSSF compliance linked to outsourcing. In our company, we've gone through all the steps, and we are outsourcing a firm for Tier 2 remittance. But now we are experiencing a challenge with NSSF where the company has complied to every aspect, but NSSF is not issuing a compliance certificate. So will we be exposing ourselves to a legal risk if we proceed remitting the Tier 2 to the insurance firm as we wait for the NSSF compliance certificate? Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra. When it comes to matters compliance and matters outsourcing, the steps that are provided under the NSSF Act is a bit clearer. Remember, when one is to seek for approval,
Wilson, we lost you. Might be a technical error on his side. We give him a minute. He's joining. Well, KPLC walikuwa ameanua stima is coming back. Just a minute.
My apologies. I don't know if you're able to hear me. I had a slight technical issue.
We can hear you.
I'm sorry, I was answering Sandra's question. I was indicating to Sandra that it is only Retirement Benefits Authority that is able to give approval for you to start contracting out NSSF contributions, that is for tier 2. And when approval is done, then NSSF is able to be copied that you've managed to receive clean bill of health, and therefore you can remit your contribution to that specified scheme for that private administrator. Thank you.
Yeah, we have a few questions on the chat. Then we have George. George, you can go first. Then you can get the question from the chat. It is Geoffrey, no, not George. Geoffrey. Geoffrey Magire. As Geoffrey prepares to ask his question, we have a few questions. Good evening.
Okay, thank you.
Geoffrey, your network is an issue. Geoffrey, your network is an issue. You can work on the network or just type in the chat section. Geoffrey, your network is an issue. Either type or work on the network. Even as Geoffrey prepares, we have how can one check his or her NSF balance for his or her balance for NSF savings? Because I have tried by the NSF app, then it failed. Then how can one whose employment was terminated benefit from NSF savings?
Thank you for those two questions. On matters checking your balance, because you managed to possibly check the USSD, or you managed to check the self-service portal at the website for NSSF. I've talked about matters transparency and accessibility. In such a case, you have no choice but to be able to visit any of the NSSF office for you to be provided for. On matters when one is terminated, how can you be able to benefit from the NSSF contributions? I've managed to indicate situations where these benefits, which are protected rights, can be accessed. Allow me to refresh ourselves. One is on retirement benefit. Retirement benefits, it means when you hit a minimum retirement age of 50 years, then one can access a third. 2/3, you purchase a post-retirement product called annuity or income drawdown. 2, survivors benefits. Upon demise of a member who has been contributing for a minimum of 36 months, then total benefits are payable to the nominated beneficiaries, because survivors benefits relates to death of the member. 3, invalidity. Invalidity is in situations where a member is either physically or mentally incapacitated, meaning it has been proven by a medical practitioner that this member is unable to go back to his normal employment. So he's able to be retired. So that is when these benefits are paid. We have funeral grant. This relates to death of a member, and the amount here is 10,000 Kenya shillings. And lastly, the funds can only be paid upon immigration, whereby it is a permanent immigration, a member is relocating to a different country with no intention of coming back to Kenya. So when these are the only reasons that is applicable for you to be able to receive these benefits. But remember, we had two kind of contributions. There is an old fund, which was provident, and there is a new fund, which is pension. So, and not unless you try access funds under the provident side, because the new act does not allow you to access these funds unless those specific conditions apply.
We've lost Wilson again.
I'm sorry, are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yes, I did manage to provide when one is terminated, how can they be able to access the funds? I've indicated that funds are only accessible upon retirement of a member, where a third is paid to the member, 2/3 a purchase of annuity or income drawdown fund, 2 survivors benefit, and this is only applicable upon death and in a situation where this specific member has been contributing for a minimum of 36 months, then these total benefits are paid to the nominated beneficiary. Then number 3, I'm looking at invalidity pension. This is a situation where one is physically or mentally incapacitated, then upon confirmation by a medical practitioner, then these benefits are paid out. Then there is a funeral grant, which is relating to death benefit. And lastly, when we have immigration, where a member is leaving the country with no intention of coming back. Back to you. Thank you.
Time is really gone. We can rush through the questions in the chat. If a company pulls out of NSSF, what happens? What becomes of the funds that were remitted before?
When a company pulls out of NSSF, the funds that were remitted before belongs to the member. The funds that are remitted to NSSF, they actually have an oversight, and the oversight body is the Retirement Benefits Authority. They do refer to these funds as protected rights, meaning these funds vest, or these funds can be accessible by a member that is at the point of early retirement or any of the reasons I've provided. So the funds no longer get lost because they are protected. Thank you.
How is the act
Back to you.
affecting? Thank you. How is the act affecting pensions like club fund and CPF, especially county governments? In county governments,
in county governments, I believe they have a different kind of arrangement. They usually, I've seen, they have like a superannuation fund in nature. So there are some individual members who have been exempted, and this includes members of the armed forces, members who've managed to receive approval by the cabinet secretary, or when you look at when the act was created by the minister for labor. And again, in situations where a member is an expatriate and is able to work in Kenya and they are not able to exceed a number of 3 years in the country. So there are exemptions, but the exemptions have been provided and have managed to share the same with us. Thank you.
kindly assist to further advice where you have unionized employees in regard to outsourcing Tier 2.
Thank you. When you look at unionized employees, I believe by assumption, you're looking at a situation where we have COTU in place. That is by assumption. So in such a situation, what happens is you need to lobby with the union, because at the end of the day, if you have unionized employees and the union is not on your side, then you will hit a dead end. So for you to be able to sell through, then you need to ensure that the unionized employees and the union itself or the representatives are able to undergo member education. They're able to understand what the NSSF Act entails. They're able to understand the benefits of the Act in regards to contracting out. They're able to understand how these funds are to be invested and how it is able to benefit those specific members of that union. So when they're able to buy in such kind of arrangement, then you are good to go. Otherwise, if they're not able to be sensitized, they're not able to be talked to, they're not able to understand what you are looking at, especially how the employees are going to benefit, then it will be dead on arrival. So that is how I'll be able to handle that. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Wilson. I think that is the last question we've had. I would like to take this opportunity just to thank each and everyone that has been with us up to this juncture. Even as we finalize, maybe Wilson, you can give your final remarks and maybe share your contact. I can see the contact has been shared in the chat section. You can give final remarks as we finalize.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'd like to inform us that when you are given a leeway within the Act that enables you to contract out, then it becomes important, both as an individual or an employer, to look for the best solution for your employees. It is important that you have visibility of what members are able to contribute, what the fund is able to contribute as the sponsor, as well as it is important to look at how the members are able to transition at the point of retirement. Growing a retirement package for employees is usually very motivational, and it is important that matters who is managing your scheme, who is providing the best in terms of guaranteed rate, who is able to give transparency, who is able to professionally advise members, who is able to provide free member education and be easily transition members to post-retirement products is very key. And Capex Life Assurance Company Limited is that one-stop shop that is able to hold your hand, that is able to help you contract out, and is able to manage your fund in a professional manner. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Back to you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks again, Bwana Wilson. We look forward to, I'm sure this is a topic that